it's Corinne from Culture Vultures, and it's the 7th of January. So I hope you all had a fairly okay holiday and a good rest. And we're starting up a new year and hopefully some better things for the 2021. Anyway, on January the 6th in 1854, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle created Sherlock Holmes. So this date is noted as Sherlock's birthday. So with that in mind, what I was thinking was, the question for the chat for this week would be, is there any particular Sherlock Holmes book you really enjoy, or any play or film? I was lucky enough to go to see The Hounds of the Baskervilles at the Playhouse Theatre about 3 or 4 years ago now. And it was really amusing. It was sort of loosely based on the book, had the same sort of, idea, but it was very, very funny. And I really enjoyed it. So there's different ways of watching. I suppose a bit like Shakespeare, really. But anyway, that was my one. So I'll stick with that. And the suggestions for this week are, the first one I thought was absolutely gorgeous. It's from the Victoria Gallery and Museum. And it's a fab classical version of Bill Withers' Lovely Day. And it's really nice. The link's there if you want to have a look at that. But I thought that was really something different. So that's the start. And then we go on to the history of the Barbican Centre in London. Now, I come from London, but I don't really know anything about this place at all till I found this. And it's a nostalgia, fantastic shots of the Barbican. It doesn't seem to have changed much over the years. And it's a commentary from promotional films, news, TV and motion pictures. It's all celebrating the London History Day from last year with the Barbican Centre. And it tells about how it was built, why it came about. It's got the site sits on the situation, about the current situation. And as a mixtape, it's called, and which was created by filmmaker Jack Warmore and the Barbican Archive team as part of the Barbican's estate 50th anniversary in 2019. So that's quite a good one to have a look. And then follow on from there, I've got one called Transpose, the Future from the Barbican. And this is featuring artists from across the generations in performing opera, poetry, dance, electronica. And the show considers where gender identity and individuality might look like tomorrow. It's celebratory atmosphere, and it is curated by C.N. Lester and directed by Kate O'Donnell. Two of the trans community's leading lights, and it's multi-talented performers. So it's in a space which we can show our vulnerabilities, our strengths, and most of all, our authenticity. So I thought that'd be quite nice to watch. So that's on there for the Barbican. And then something different again. It's called Philaenia, and it's from Millerfest. It's a festival that's on each year, but this is in celebration of. He was an Indian Carthenic violinist, and his name is, I'm going to try and pronounce it, Lagudi Jaraman. And he was also a vocalist and a composer, and he's also known as the god of the violin. So it's a bit about his life story and his music, and it's quite a nice little production to watch. And then come on to the art of Venice, and there's a historian and artist called Philip Yusof, and he talks about Venice and the architectural work there. So he does sketches in Venice, and he just goes through some of the buildings with you, and that's quite an interesting one to have a look at. Then we've got Plant Life Drawing Workshop, which I quite fancy the idea of, and it's for any level of ability, so anyone can have a go. And it's from the Great Exhibition Roadshow, which takes place on the 13th of January between 5 and 6 p.m. And if you want to have a go at it, just book a free place on Eventbrite. The link's there. So that's a nice look, drawing workshop that might be of use. And then the next one is from one of my favourites, the Richmond Art Centre in Scotland. And this is the lantern making workshop, which looks really lovely. And this is on the 11th of January, and it's 6:30 to 7:30 with Young Humble. And it's a crafting session, making colourful origami lanterns to give your home a glow. So you just need some A4 paper, colour paper, some thread, pens, ruler, scissors, stapler, hole punch and a tea light if you've got one, and just book your place via Eventbrite again to have a go at that. And then I thought something different as well was Japanese architect Terenbyo Fujami, I think his name is, apologies for that if it's wrong, shares his expertise about the history and traditions of Japanese tea house architecture. And I thought this was absolutely brilliant. I really enjoyed watching this. And it's his own works also displayed in this, and how he created a design of his own tea houses. But there's some lovely history from it, and it's an enjoyable thing to watch. And then we go on to Amato's Arts Take Part. Now this is a bookbinder called Cassandra Barham, and she shows you how the process is for cut and fold a book, and a simple pamphlet, and a Japanese stab book. So you just follow the link. You need plain paper. She will tell you what size, depending on what you want to make. Decorative paper. So you can use old maps, wallpaper samples, old calendars, etc. And she'll explain again in the demo. A pencil, ruler, either a cutting mat or a chopping board will do. Cork tiles are old magazines you can use to push holes into. You need an awl or a clicker or a bradawl, some kind of pointy tool you can make the holes with. A needle, that's for the bookbinder, a large needle with you can put a thread through it. Wax linen thread or embroidery thread. And just watch the recording and have a go. It might be fun. I've done something like this at the Umbrella Centre, it was a couple of years ago in an art group, and it was really fascinating. In fact, I've still got them. I should have dubbed them out and showed them this, but I'll try and take some photographs when I find them and put them on the blog. And then I've come across this fab site. I just found it recently, called Heritage Calling. And this is a link to the life of the aviator Amy Johnson. And it tells you all about a story, and there's all sorts of photographs and pictures and maps. And it really is lovely. And if you follow further on from the links, you can find other things they do as well. But I will put them on in the future. So that's a good one. And then finally, it's a celebration of Lowry. And this is a festival celebrated on the 13th of January each year. Popular belief is that the Lowry is celebrating the mark of the end of winter. But this festival is also traditionally associated with the harvest of rabi crops. And it's a traditional harvest time for sugarcane crops in January. Therefore, Lowry is seen by some to be the harvest festival, which is really interesting. And the Punjabi farmers also see the day after Lowry, I think it's called Mugai, as the financial new year. So that's sort of another celebration that you can look into. And I've never heard of it, and I thought it was really, really interesting. So we'll see what comes after that. I just thank you all for listening, and I hope you can get onto the blog and the Zooms that are coming up soon. They'll be starting again, and hopefully things will go better this year. And I wish you all the best, and I'll see you soon. Right, bye.